In Buma, I was there with a commander called Atali. And in Buma, a conspiracy was made and we were arrested. Myself and Atali were arrested, charged of mutiny. This was investigated, and after the investigation we were taken to the court. It is unfortunate that the trial was a kangaroo court, and usually under the law, when you are in a joint trial, you have the right to defend yourselves together. So I was by then I was very clear, and I was out to defend ourselves. We defended ourselves. In the course of defense, I was ordered not to talk for Atali. And I said, but this is the right. They said, no. Just talk for yourself. Defend yourself and let him defend himself. I said, okay, I defended myself until I proved to them that after all there was no mutiny, because we were charged of mutiny. Thereafter the court said, yes, now we have found that you are not guilty of mutiny. I said, okay, is it Atali alone who is guilty now of mutiny? They said yes. I said, okay. Definition of mutiny in the SPLA Act says when two or more people disobey, then they have mutinied. In other words, one person cannot mutiny. So Comrade Atali has not committed any offense. He said, okay, that will be left to us. It was unfortunate that the court decided to, even though Atali did not commit any mutiny, and in fact we did not mutiny, we were woke up by night in our sleeping places. Because by then there was a euphoria of promoting anybody who arrests any rebel or anybody planning to rebel. So there was that euphoria. And so we were arrested, we were tried, and Atali was sentenced to death against the law, against the provisions of the law. Because the Penal and Disciplinary Act is very clear. But of course, as I said earlier, there was that thing. I was charged of negligence. And my charge of being negligent was, why did you not report the mutiny that Atali was mutinying? I said, but where is the mutiny now? Did any of the NCOs, did any of the soldiers come here and say, yes, I was contacted by Atali, so that we rebelled? How can one person mutiny? I was reduced in rank from the rank of captain to a first lieutenant, and then sentenced to 1 year operations at Bongo. So I continued there up to this sentence was passed in August. By then Buma was completely isolated. So I continued in custody up to December when the road was opened. Then I was brought and I went to Buno. Buno is a place near Kapoita. It is a contention where we used to clash all the time with the Jalaba on that way. So I went to Buno, where I went to serve my 1 year in operations, and I continued there up to the end of my 1 year. Thank God I survived it. And After that 1 year, then the plans for in fact, after when I went to Buma, I was given a company. I was given a company which is called Syria, and that company was a company of students from Isoke. Those who were in school, in the political school, those who were in the military intelligence. But when operations came, they were brought to Buma, and they had difficulty with their officers because they were intellectuals. So they had a problem. So when I went there, I was said, good, take over that company. So I managed to tame that company until they became very good people. They became very disciplined NCOs and men. We continued in Buma until the operations started. With the operations, we managed to. With the operations, with the first operation that failed, that was now in '94. We started the operations. After that, my period of 1 year ended. So I was taken from the command of that battalion and made to be the chief logistic for the operations, to transport ammunition and food for the army. And we had a lot of stores behind in Narus, and others in Nadapal, others in Natinga, others in Latuke. So we continued with the operations, and the operations went on very well. Unfortunately, we mismanaged the operations, because what we did was not the correct plan. Because under the normal circumstances, when you besiege your enemy, you leave an outlet for them, so that when they are under pressure, they can run away from there. But if you close them completely, they will fight to the finish. And this is what happened in our case. We closed it, and when the fighting started, it was difficult. They had nowhere to go. They even attempted to escape, but they were returned by the other group who were there, so they had to come back. And they continued fighting until the reinforcement came and we were dislodged. Now, before the reinforcement could come, when my period ended, I was then reinstated in my rank as a captain. It also coincided with the promotion of my colleagues of our batch. So I was promoted also to